Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie a different kind of fly, and this is going to be an emerging nymph. A friend of mine has been telling me to, asking me for years now to make a whatchamacallit fly. I say that word a lot, that's why he brings it up. But, so this is going to be, we're going to call this a whatchamacallit. The hook that I have in the vise, this is a size 16, and I would say you can tie this on anything from a 12 to a 20. I'm going to use dark brown or light brown. It says light brown on here, but that looks a little bit darker. This is brown twisted Hemingway's twisted thread, and this is 6/0. And this I'm designing after or with the the Higgins SOS in mind, same kind of body. I like that that shape that a Higgins gives you. And I think this will be a pretty good, productive fly during a mayfly hatch. It's going to be more like a wet fly than a nymph. So I'm going to get about halfway or so, and I'm going to take, I have 10 thousandths lead wire, and I'm going to put a little bit of weight on the back side of it. I'm going to lay it flat and run it that way so I don't have a big bump. You can put one right down the center like I did, or you could put one on each side. But just so there's a little bit of weight on the back, so that way it will keep the back end of the fly down and the head up, like you would imagine a mayfly going to the surface with his head up. Now we're going to put the tail on first, and this is going to be just a brown hackle. Try to get something that's pretty close to the color of your thread, or a good complementing color. And I'm going to take a bunch of these. And we'll make that tail just about the length of the hook shank. Just give it maybe 2 or 3 wraps just to hold it there. Now I'm going to put a rib in there, and I have a copper wire rib. This is going to add a little bit more weight to it also, to help that tail end of the fly to be deeper in the water than the front end. And I'm going to bring that right up, and this is going to be a thread body, so you want to keep your thread when you're wrapping all your pieces. Try to keep them as long or as level as you can. Go ahead and trim that off, and you can stop up near the thorax. And I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to kind of build a little bit of a taper on it. And had to get that rib all the way back to the tail. I'm actually going to, this is twisted thread, so I'm going to spin this counterclockwise. I spun this counterclockwise, kind of flatten it out there. It helps to make a nice smooth body. Try to keep those wraps pretty tight. You want to get a nice smooth body there. And then I'm going to continue to unravel this thread. Get it flat. It's spinning the whole time there. And then we're going to come back, and this time we're not going to go as far with our wrap. The reason you have to keep unwrapping is every time you give it a wrap around the hook shank, you actually twist the thread again. It twists it back. And you can probably see the thread twisted in it now. Especially since this is twisted thread. It has to, you need a lot of twisting to unravel it. And there we go, that's pretty close to level. Oh, you can see it was splitting apart there. There it is. You can see that split thread. But we're going to just go with that. I'm going to wrap the rib. I'm counter wrapping that rib. Give it a nice, and when you wrap a rib on something, keep them tight at the back, and then you can open them up just like a natural would be. And that extra fine copper wire I could just break right off. Now, in order to help, again, to keep that front part of the fly up, I'm going to put a little piece of foam in there. Doesn't really matter what kind of foam, but the closed cell foam is always best. And this is also going to help level off my, just give me one or two more wraps towards the back there. Then I can pinch that off. This will also help with the thorax building up like an underbody there. Now I'm going to take a piece of white floss, and I had 4-strand floss here, but I'm going to make it skinny, just as if the back was cracked on this fly as it's coming up. Just tie that in. There we go. Now I'm going to take, I need the thorax, I'm going to take some dark brown Awesome Possum. It doesn't matter what kind of material, but it would be better if it was fur. It was actual natural fur. Just get a dark brown. We're going to make some noodle there. And the first one I made was with was a black one, and you can see I used Black Rabbit Crystal Dub. You know, I like that stuff. And there we go. We're going to wrap this. Now I'm going to take 2 pieces, or 2 Goose Biots. I have white ones here. You can use a gray one. And I'm going to tie these in. And don't really have to make an X pattern. I just want one on each side. So I'm going to tie them in right by that butt there. Just kind of want them, keep them divided. And we're going to trim the backside, so that's why it doesn't matter that if you get them by the butt. Doesn't matter if you have them different lengths on the backside. So there we are. I'm going to take the wing case, I'm actually going to twist that, make it nice tight strip there. Tie that off. Keep that away from that eye there. There we go. Now I could trim that out. I'm going to bring that back and make sure those wings are pinned down. There we go. Much better. Then we're going to finish off the head. Take our whip finish, hook, go around the camel hump, bring it back. There's our X. Give it 3 wraps. Snug that in there tight. Take our poke and snip and trim that. Now I'm going to take the 2 wing buds and trim them both at the same time so that they'll be the same length. And then you can use the body of the fly as your measurement for how long. I'm going to cut them off right at the tail. And remember, this is, you know, the wings are just budding, just coming out. We're going to take the head cement, clean that brush off well. And we can go right around with that. And here we go. It's a nymph, but it's not a nymph. It's a wet fly, but it's not a wet fly. This is gonna fish like a wet fly, so therefore it's a whatchamacallit. I'm gonna take my dubbing teaser and pull out the bottom just a little bit, kind of give it some legs there. It's kind of with the legs sweeping back. Pull that long one out of there. And I hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know that I sent you. If you would like to purchase any flies for me, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it on the page, just send me a message. Tell me what you're looking for. I'll get right back to you and we'll figure it out. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.